I think we overhyping this victory, you know, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Defense, reflexes, all that, you know. But the only thing that I can say is I'm 10 steps ahead of. Like I'm 10 steps ahead of him in smarts, and I think that's where he'll get in trouble with, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to think shot for shot.
Terence Crawford is fired back at Jaron Ennis after the rising star called him out, making one thing crystal clear. He doesn't believe Boots has what it takes to beat him.
No when to exchange, when not to exchange. When to move, when to hold. Like if you watched when he got real hurt, real bad, he didn't know when to hold. And we all yelling like, grab him. He's right there to be grabbed.
After stopping Xander Zayas, Jaron Ennis made it clear he was ready to take on anyone, including Terence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sebastian Fundora, or any other top name at 154 pounds. But Crawford's response changed the narrative. Rather than praising Boots' victory, Bud brushed aside the hype, laughed off the challenge, and hinted that he noticed flaws in Boots' performance that many fans missed.
Keep one thing in mind. I don't think no one picked Xander to win.
No.
And I love Xander, and he's a great kid, but no one, like, I think we overhyping this victory, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head, and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight. But what round will it be? Right. Now, I think it's going to be different when he goes up against a Fundora or a Virgil, because if one of those guys get him hurt like Xander did, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome.
That is where the tension begins. Boots looked powerful, explosive, and dangerous, but he also got caught with clean shots at times. Crawford's camp sees those moments as evidence that Ennis is not yet prepared to handle Bud's elite timing, patience, accuracy, and ring IQ.
Like I said, man, of course, everybody know the competitive nature in myself, but I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and proving something to people that it doesn't matter, what never matters, for that being, they would say, oh, well, he only fought Xander, or they'll come up with some type of excuse, but to credit Boots, like, he's a tremendous talent, and he's no walk in the park for no one, so he's a threat to anyone that he stepped foot in the ring with,
Crawford did not simply dismiss the challenge. He made it clear that he believes he is far ahead of Boots in every aspect of boxing. That kind of statement goes beyond trash talk and sends a strong message.
I want to be the Terence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather level of boxing. I need Josh Kelly. I need Fundora. I need Ortiz. We need names, Boots. None of that tune-up. None of that. If you want to be one of the best, you got to go out there and get it and be the best. Get back in the ring by 2027. Come on. If you really want to be one of them boys, I see he loves to talk. I see that, but you gotta just show us in the ring. The resumes, that was the beginning of the resume.
When Crawford says he has nothing left to prove, his message is clear. He believes Boots needs his fight more than he does. Ennis is still building his legacy, while Crawford feels he has already cemented his place among boxing's all-time greats.
I haven't fought this guy, and when I do fight these guys, or when I do step up, then it's always an excuse. So now I'm at 38 years old, about to be 39, I don't have nothing to prove. I didn't win everything there is to win. I hope that Jaron have half of the career that I had, or surpass me. If he surpassed me, I'm gonna be rooting for him. I'm gonna be giving him his props. I'm not the type of fighter that, want to see him fail. I want to see him succeed. I want to congratulate him. I want to see him, make it to the Hall of Fame and, congratulate him and things like that, but when you say, oh, he would knock Terence Crawford out, or Terence Crawford ducked him, or Terence Crawford ran, and that's why Terence Crawford retired. It pisses me off sometimes, but at the same time, it's just the
You know
game.
the truth. Yeah, you know the truth.
Terence Crawford also made it clear that he believes he has nothing left to prove. That statement completely changes the conversation. While Jaron, Boots, Ennis can call him out and fans can debate the matchup, Crawford sees things differently. He has already captured world titles, defeated elite opponents, conquered multiple weight divisions, and built a legacy that many fighters spend their entire careers trying to achieve. From his perspective, the pressure is on Boots to earn that opportunity.
Get easy, big dog. You got anything in closing? Anything we didn't have?
Nah. I'm definitely a fan of boxing. You know, I'm gonna be in Australia. I'm gonna be.
Oh yeah, I know you're gonna be over there. Yeah.
I'm gonna be supporting Spence, rooting him on. You know, I just like to support, you know, fighters in his own right. I done been in Boots' locker room supporting him. You know, so yeah, it's just crazy how the tables turn. You know, when people get to a certain plateau and they forget about things like that.
We picking Earl?
Of course.
Of course. Shawn?
Of course.
Yeah.
Shawn better.
We gotta see.
Wow.
Boots did not sound bothered by Crawford saying he has nothing left to prove. From a side, that just sounds like a safe answer. Crawford can say he is 10 steps ahead. He can laugh online, and Hassan remind everyone of his legacy. But Boots is looking at it differently. If Crawford really believes and could never beat him, then Boots wants him to step back into the ring and show it. He is basically saying Crawford cannot keep talking about retirement while acting like the fight is already decided. He wants Bud to either prove in the ring or stop acting like Andis is beneath him.
We focus on testing and taking over this division. We ain't want to retire fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on going Terence up. Terence up, he'll retire. Leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Y'all can have fun.
But according to Shannon Sharp, Chad Okosinko Johnson, and Joe Johnson, Boots is moving too fast with Terence Crawford. To them, Crawford still has more than Boots. More experience, more ring IQ, more patience, more timing, and more ways to win a fight. Boots may be younger, stronger, and exciting to watch, but Bud has already proven himself at the highest level against elite fighters. That is why they were not ready to say Boots beats Crawford. Eye in their eyes, Bud is still the best fighter. He sees mistakes before they happen. He adjusts better than almost anyone in boxing, and he knows how to punish a fighter who gets too comfortable. So, while Boots is dangerous, they still believe Crawford is on another level right now.
I don't know if Bud would fight him like he fought Canelo. Bud is a lot smarter than you think. Bud, hey, people sleep on Bud. I don't know why. I mean, he's the only man that's unified 3 divisions. And you don't see guys go from 140 to 68. Jump 3, basically one fight at 54. Basically, he jumped 3 divisions. 3. Come on now. But I don't know. I don't know if Bud's like, look, man, I done made money. Now it's time for me to sit back and let the other fellas have it. He a 4-division champ. He's a 3-division unified champ. Let that sink in. In the 4-belt era, he got 3 divisions in which he had all.
The debate over a potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots, Ennis continues to divide the boxing world, with fans, analysts, promoters, and former fighters all offering different opinions. Following Boots' impressive victory over Xander Zayas, calls for a Crawford comeback have grown louder. But while many believe the fight is one of the biggest that boxing could make, others argue that the reality of the situation is far more complicated. Rick Glaser quickly shifted the conversation away from hype and toward business. He reminded fans that Crawford has already announced his retirement and questioned who could realistically pay Bud enough money to take such a fight. Glaser pointed out that if Crawford were going to return, a rematch with Canelo Alvarez would likely earn him well over $50 million while carrying much greater financial value. His message was simple. From a business standpoint, there is little reason for Crawford to risk facing Ennis when much bigger paydays could still be available. Another strong opinion came from Vinny's corner, who did not hesitate to back Crawford. He argued that Bud would stop Boots and warned fans to stop pushing for a fight that he believes would end badly for Ennis. His reaction reflected the confidence many Crawford supporters have after watching Boots against Xander Zayas. While they acknowledge Ennis' athleticism, power, and exciting offensive style, they also believe the fight revealed defensive mistakes that Crawford would immediately capitalize on. T.O. Crawford supporters, Bud represents a completely different level of competition. They point to his elite timing, ring IQ, patience, counterpunching, defensive awareness, and ability to make adjustments during a fight. Those qualities, they argue, separate great fighters from legendary ones. From their perspective, Boots has shown tremendous talent, but facing Crawford would be a challenge unlike anything he's experienced. DiBella offered a much more balanced perspective. Rather than dismissing Boots, he praised the young champion's exciting performance and admitted that his offense captured the imagination of boxing fans. However, DiBella also noted that the same openings visible to viewers would certainly have been recognized by Crawford and longtime trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre. According to DiBella, those defensive vulnerabilities cannot be ignored when discussing a possible matchup. That DiBella believes that if Crawford returned right now, he would still favor Bud to win. At the same time, he emphasized that age and inactivity eventually catch up with every fighter. The longer Crawford remains retired, the more dangerous Ennis becomes. Boots is still developing, still improving, and many believe he has not even reached his athletic prime. In DiBella's view, time works in Ennis' favor, making the fight increasingly competitive with every passing year. Some fans took an even stronger stance. Boxing Massacre argued that Crawford would dominate Ennis and claimed Boots is being overrated after his recent success. According to that viewpoint, the victory over Xander Zayas did not erase the defensive flaws that appeared during the fight. Instead, it highlighted areas where a master technician like Crawford could take complete control. Supporters of that opinion believe Crawford's experience would allow him to expose every weakness in Boots' game. They argue that Bud's patience, accuracy, and ability to make mid-fight adjustments would eventually overwhelm the younger fighter. From their perspective, Ennis should focus on continuing to grow before calling out one of the sport's most accomplished champions. Not everyone agrees with that assessment, however. Ray Jackson strongly pushed back against the idea that Crawford would simply dominate Boots. He believes Ennis has the youth, size, speed, athleticism, power, and confidence necessary to give Crawford one of the toughest fights of his career. In Jackson's opinion, Boots is not calling out Bud merely for attention. He genuinely believes Ennis possesses the tools to win. That difference of opinion highlights why the matchup has become such a fascinating topic throughout boxing. One side views Crawford as a once-in-a-generation talent whose experience will be too much for anyone. The other side believes Ennis represents the next generation and has the physical advantages needed to finally challenge Bud at this stage of his career. Crawford himself added even more intrigue with his short but mysterious response. Rather than offering a detailed breakdown of Ennis' performance, Bud simply said he would keep his comments to himself because everyone already understood what he was thinking. Although brief, the statement immediately sparked speculation throughout the boxing community. Many fans interpreted Crawford's words as a subtle criticism of Boots' performance against Xander Zayas. While Ennis earned an impressive victory, he was hit clean on several occasions and appeared vulnerable during certain exchanges. Those moments stood out to experienced observers, and many believe Crawford noticed every one of them, instead of publicly pointing out those flaws, but allowed fans to draw their own conclusions. To many people, his silence spoke louder than a lengthy analysis. The message seemed to be that while Boots remains a dangerous young champion, Crawford believes he already sees the blueprint needed to defeat him. Former world champion Shawn Porter also weighed in on the debate, bringing a unique perspective because he has shared the ring with Crawford himself. Porter praised Boots for his remarkable athletic gifts, including his speed, size, switch-hitting ability, creativity, and explosive offense. He acknowledged that Ennis has all the physical tools required to become one of boxing's biggest stars. At the same time, Porter cautioned fans against underestimating Crawford's greatness. Having personally experienced Bud's style, Porter knows firsthand how difficult Crawford is to solve. He described Bud as a fighter who constantly makes adjustments, studies opponents during the fight, and finds ways to remove their biggest strengths round after round. According to Porter, Crawford's intelligence inside the ring separates him from almost everyone else. He does not rely solely on athletic ability or punching power. Instead, he combines patience, discipline, precision, and elite instincts to gradually take control of fights. Against an opponent like Crawford, even one small mistake can completely change the direction of a championship bout. As the debate continues, fans remain divided. Some believe Boots Ennis is the future of boxing and possesses everything needed to dethrone a legend. Others remain convinced that Terence Crawford's experience, ring IQ, and championship pedigree would simply prove too much. Whether the fight ever happens remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The discussion surrounding Crawford versus Boots has become one of the hottest conversations in the sport, and every new reaction only adds more fuel to the fire.
Damn power.
With speed and power.
I just think
And
this-
creativity.
That's, you just don't see that. That's what this would have been.
Yep.
100%.
A+ versus A.
That's A+
And I
versus
just
A.
think
I like that.
Terrence just a little too
Yeah.
much and will catch him
Yeah.
and buzz Boots. And
Yeah.
I think that'll. I think Terrence stops him.
It's
late.
such a special fight because you got two alpha males in the
Yeah.
ring that are true alpha
Yeah.
males. You know what I mean? I was an alpha male until I got in the ring with that dude.
It just.
that dude, like, it was like the more he wasn't allowing me to do what he wasn't, and it was like, damn, okay, well then, you know,
So you had one of them in eights and the other in sparring.
I don't know, cause that dude hit me with a right hand in the sparring, and I was like, yeah, I was like, yo, that was.
According to Boxing Ego, Terence Crawford is not coming out of retirement for Jaron Boots Ennis. And the reason is straightforward, but simply does not need to fight the way Boots does. Ennis is still chasing a defining legacy and looking to prove he belongs among boxing's elite. Crawford, meanwhile, has already built a Hall of Fame resume, won major championship fights, and reached a point in his career where he can choose only the opportunities that truly make sense for him.
Terence Bud Crawford makes it official, rejects the notion that he could come out of retirement to face Jaron Boots Ennis, stating he really has nothing to prove, wishes Boots Ennis well on his journey, but he ain't coming out of retirement for no dang Jaron.
That is why Boxing Ego's point carries so much weight. Fans may want to see Bud face Boots, and Ennis can keep calling Crawford's name, but Bud is no longer in a position where he has to answer every rising contender. If Crawford ever decides to return, it would likely have to be for a truly massive payday or a legacy-defining fight that genuinely motivates him. From his perspective, only a blockbuster opportunity would be worth ending his retirement.
I do notice that there's a lot of times where Crawford, he's very passive-aggressive. Like, you could tell he got this far in his career being a competitor and being very competitive, not wanting to lose, because you would hear that message and you would be like, all right, he's showing mad love to the youngin, to Jaron Boots Ennis, who actually, he just turned like 29, I believe. He had a birthday. But you hear that and you're like, all right, Crawford was being cool. But then you look at his social media last night and he had like a snarky type of tweet that everybody knows was pretty much sneak dissing Jaron Boots Ennis. Like, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna just keep it to myself. So Crawford is a competitor, and I noticed that he does a lot of passive aggressive stuff where yesterday night after the fight, you were kind of like alluding to, insinuating, and subliminally getting at Boots. But now you're like, I wish him well. People are all, you know, you're being the bigger person. And then also, in the same interview, he said this, play the clip.
I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and proving something to people that it does.
Then Adola Adipo delivered one of the strongest reactions to Jaron Boots Ennis' victory, taking the praise even further. He said Boots has now earned a place in boxing's pound-for-pound conversation. That opinion highlights just how significant the win over Xander Zayas was. Adipo was not simply impressed by Ennis' performance. He believed the quality of the opponent made the victory even more meaningful. Zayas entered the fight undefeated, full of confidence, and viewed as a legitimate championship-level talent. Instead of narrowly winning, Boots systematically broke him down and secured a stoppage. According to Adipo, a performance like that changes how the boxing world views Ennis. elevating him from a promising contender to an elite fighter worthy of pound-for-pound recognition.
Jaron Boots Ennis to that. Jaron Boots Ennis has now put himself, I think, into the pound-for-pound conversation. Now, without a doubt for me, he's now in the top 10 pound-for-pound, and I need to think very quickly about what number he sits at. Because yesterday, he beat an unbeaten champion and stopped him. I repeat myself, he beat an unbeaten champion and stopped him. Didn't go to points, wasn't controversial, beat him up. And I don't say that lightly because Xander Zayas threw back. There was a time in that fight, I think it was round 3, where Xander Zayas started throwing back, and I even was on my Instagram story, and I was like, okay, we have a fight. Because the crowd started to get into it. It was the first time in a long time. I feel like we've seen Boots hurt, never really shaken, but you see Boots get connected. But Boots kind of took a back seat, like, okay, this guy's starting to land on me. And I was like, okay, this is it. Boots, though, he's almost a bit, I'm trying to think of the fighter. Nigel Benn-esque for our UK viewers. When you hit him, he wants to hit you back. Almost a bit like a child in the playground. Like, there is no, okay, you're hitting me, I'm going to go on the defense and run away. No, fire with fire. And that was almost Xander Zayas' undoing because Boots just hits too hard, he's too strong, he's too fast, and ultimately he's just too good. He's too good. He's had a couple of good performances.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing updates right here on Boxing Brain.